welcome back to Midday. We have John Van Limbeek joining us from Abbott Wealth Management. Thanks for joining us, John.
Thank you for having me.
And it's all, I couldn't say the word, I couldn't think of what I was trying to say earlier. Financial planning was the word I was looking for, the term I was looking for, and that's what we're talking about with you today.
Thought I'd pick that topic.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's one that we always have to keep in mind, right? So I guess, first of all, how do you explain financial planning to somebody? I mean, well, there's so many, it feels like it's a really broad topic. So how do we narrow that down? It is a broad
topic. Do we have a couple of slides?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And because it helps out a little bit more.
There we go.
You know, you can look at it, the ability to meet your short-term needs. So paying your mortgage and, you know, food and stuff like that. Plus, in this case, the confidence to realize your long-term goals, objectives, priorities, whatever you're looking for, while managing the risks of that day to day or month to month or year to year, those challenges kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And what they're saying there is that those risks that I have to manage is that, okay, I got to pay that mortgage, but what happens if I can't have the ability to earn an income next month? Right, so there's a risk. What happens if, you know, so what happens if I get a serious illness? There's a risk, right? So what are they? What's going to sidetrack me from meeting those short-term and long-term goals?
And there are things that come up that can sidetrack you, right?
Absolutely. Well, health is the bigger one for that is health. I mean, we're working every day to pay those bills and to save for a vacation and pay the house mortgage, and then obviously try to get past that stage to you know, to retirement or something like that, right?
Right. So what, how can you start planning for your financial future? I mean, what is the best way to start? What's the first thing that you should be doing, really?
Well, you got to identify, I think, what's important to you, because everyone's different, right? So you got to, you know, and you may not, you know, young family, I mean, retirement's a long ways away. That's not necessarily number one.
Yes.
Right?
Although we did just talk about how fast things go in life.
We did, absolutely. It does. That decade will go quickly for sure.
That's right.
So that might not be number one. So, but number one is, you know, the kids and stuff like that. So what if, you know, so maybe it's more of a protecting your income for the next 5 or 10 years, making sure all that's taken care of. That if something does come out of left field, that all that family is left in a good position, right? Yeah. And then you can start. Then that will change as that kind of time period progresses.
It does too, because even for us, I mean, we're paying daycare costs right now, which is something that we have to absorb at this point, but we won't in a few years. Yeah, well, more than the mortgage, exactly.
But yeah, exactly. You're right. So you have to focus on that, and there's only so much money. Right, so you gotta. But you said, okay, if I can't earn a living, how do I have an income to come into? Because those costs are still there. Yeah. Right. So
I think we have a few more slides,
we do.
John. Yeah. So what should your financial plan actually cover?
So if you're doing it yourself, or you're sitting down with an actual planner. You know, we talked about, you know, figuring out what's important to you. You know, some people will help you with budgeting if you need it, or organizing your money, which is, you know, and it is a challenge to some degree. I shake my head sometimes, but paying down your debt, your insurance. You know, how do you manage that risk? No different than car insurance or house insurance. Right. You know, you can talk about a little bit of tax management. You know, there are ways to maybe structure depending on your situation. And then then you're starting to look really long term of, you know, retirement or estate planning or something like that. So those are the things, nonetheless, even for a 30-year-old now, or even a 40-year-old with a family, you still got to think, you know, maybe not structured estate planning, but you got to have a will. You do. You got to have, if something happens to you or your husband or, you know, stuff like that, you have the kids. Those are the #1 priority for sure, right?
So have that all in place.
Absolutely. You know, and it might you have that simple will that might be there for the next 15 years. You might not need to change that, but at least it's there, right? So you got to tick off those boxes, and you got to go systematically through that for sure.
And I know that it should address 3 really important
those are brain teasers for sure, right?
To you, right?
You know, absolutely, because money is not the end all be all. I mean, health is important too, but why is that? You know, in financial planning, because you're usually talking about money, and you're trying to figure out those risks. You know, is it the money there to help with the kids' education? Is the money there, you know, to help with the parents? Maybe the parents are in a situation where you're looking after them, right? So you have different.
It's different for everyone.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what is the money for? It's kind of the same thing. Is that similar but a little bit different? And then how do you know you're on the right path? So if you're doing all these things, how do you monitor that all the time to make sure nothing's changed? Because as soon as your life transitions or you hit different milestones or transition points in your life, there's a different priority set on money for sure.
Okay, so pay attention to the how, what, and why.
How, what,
I
and
liked
why. There
that
you go.
little
Did
triangle
you?
there. Thanks, John.
You're very welcome.
Knowledgeable as always, the
Yeah.
team at Abbott Wealth. So please contact them. They will get you right on that financial path of security,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Thanks, John. We'll be right back after a break on Midday. Stay with us.